What's making managers say, okay, we can't keep doing it in the older?
This is what you probably would do in a warehouse.
They are now realizing that it's high time for them to move to the cloud.
These are processes that takes a little bit longer time than just explaining it like I do right now.
Is there any blind counting?
We can definitely showcase this on the devices.
You don't want to be in a situation where you have the orders to be fulfilled, but you don't have the inventory.
First thing warehouse staff say after using it.
It's something which is going to be necessity. It's not optional now.
Oh, I think you hit the nail on the coffin there.
Eventually, companies are going through a change. You're losing money on the table, right?
How you help them approach that solution?
And we need to satisfy all of these different entities.
Automation has to be there.
Where do you see warehouse tech heading over the next couple of years?
It's very difficult to say.
They can focus on their main business and grow revenue eventually.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Dynamics Inside webcast. I am your host Ramita, and today we are heading into the warehouse. Yes, so no hard hats required or no heavy lifting here. We're just gonna discuss a smarter way to work, maybe less paperwork, and a whole lot of scanning, I guess, right? So with me today, I've got Mickey from Tasklet Factory, the man behind the Mobile WMS, which works right inside this essential, and Nitesh from Dynamic Square UK, who makes sure solutions like this land smoothly in the real world, of course. So welcome both of you. A quick icebreaker. Either of you ever got totally lost in a warehouse? Yeah.
Hi everybody, nice to meet you. Looking forward to this kind of webcast episode, and hopefully after this one you feel much more confident going into the mobile barcode scanning solution world.
Thank you, everyone, for having me here. I'm Nitesh, and leading the sales and go-to-market for Dynamic Square for more than 8 years now. Good to have Mickey with us today to discuss about Tasklet and what we have been doing in this space together to help companies automate their warehouse operations. So yeah, excited for the session today. Thank you.
Mickey, would you also like to introduce yourself
Yeah,
to our
definitely,
audience who are new here? Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, my name is Mickey. I'm a partner account manager here at Tasklet Factory. I've been working here for roughly 2 years now, and I've been using this product, Tasklet Mobile WMS, myself in a warehouse back 7, 8 years ago. Of course, the product developed since then, but it's still like the main core features. So I know when I try to sell this and when I try to speak with you as a partner, but also with customers that are probably watching this right now, then I know what we are doing. I know the features. I've tried it myself, and I know that we are proven inside this world of scanning. So very lucky, feel very lucky to be here, and yeah, let's get this going.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mickey. I'll start with you, Nitesh, first. So what's happening in UK warehouses right now? What's making managers say, okay, we can't keep doing it in the older way? So what are your thoughts on that?
Sure, Amita. So businesses in the UK especially are going through a lot, especially looking at the global supply chain. A lot of the UK businesses do a lot of import outside the UK. And one thing which they really want to sort of streamline automate is their warehouse operations. A lot of the businesses are still doing the manual work, using spreadsheets and doing paperwork in the warehouse. And just the entire process from good receiving to, goods getting out from the warehouse is quite cumbersome, especially in this small and medium space business house. So, so when we discuss about these requirements, we discuss about the warehouse operations, we tend to understand that this warehouse automation is kind of necessary now. It's not an optional thing now. So I think that is where obviously solutions like Dynamics 365 Business Central along with Task and Mobile WMS really helps companies streamline that. Obviously, you work closely with Mickey and the team at Tasklet. So to really help clients achieve more through this automation. But I think it's now the sense that all these companies are usually getting that if they will not automate the warehouse operations, they'll be left behind. Looking at how the competition is growing, and we are in the age of AI and agents, a lot of these manual processes will eventually get automated. Maybe not now, later, but eventually the shift has come, and I think it's also sort of a role for us as a partner to help these companies and from businesses realize that what they are missing if they are not uh, sort of helping or streamlining their warehouse operations from the cover.
So, do you think like this shift, the shift that we're talking about here, is driven more by the customer demands or uh, internal efficiency needs? What are your thoughts?
Absolutely, Ramita. I think a lot of these see market has changed quite a lot, especially after COVID. And
Hmm.
you customers, they obviously want their product shipped on real-time basis, obviously, and that requires the automation from the warehouse side, all the way from good receiving to put aways to picking the entire process, which ways Nikki will share more insights on. Is
Mm-hmm.
is something which which probably could have been done earlier, but a lot of these companies are also on legacy applications. So they are now realizing that it's high time for them to move to the cloud and make sure that they sort of streamline their back office operations. So a lot of these combinations, sort of these discussions eventually we do when we do the analysis discussions with them, uh, and that's how the next steps usually gets discussed and implemented there.
Oh, perfect. Okay, my next question to you, Mickey, is that okay, suppose that I'm a warehouse worker, correct?
Mhm.
So, tell me, maybe take us into the day-to-day life of a warehouse worker using Tasklet for the first time. And what does my shift basically actually looks like from start to finish? Can you explain that?
Of course, yeah, because I've been there myself in a warehouse. So of course, you sometimes you work in shift. That could depend on different customers. Maybe they're working 24/7, or maybe they just have one shift a day, and then those employees go home. But basically, of course, you meet in, or you start at the warehouse at the floor, and then probably you will have a vendor delivering something to you, and then you need to maybe you're in the delivering zone or the shipment zone where you get like a inbound parcels or inbound processes, maybe pallets are coming in or containers are coming in. And then it can be very tedious, and that's also why Tasklet comes so brilliantly, I think, into the picture. Is that sometimes you have companies that go around with pen and paper saying, "Okay, we just received these goods, these items from a vendor, because we made a purchase order with this vendor, and now we need to go through this pallet or through this container in front of me, saying, okay, what did I receive?" So
Hmm.
basically then you will write that down on the paper, then you'll go to computer and make sure, okay, we really actually received 10 of these items, um, which we also purchased. Maybe sometimes you will
Right.
receive 11 and you get one more than the actual 10, and sometimes you also will receive 8, which is two
Mm.
less than the actual 10. And then you need to go to the computer and you cannot forget about this information that you just explored or just tried to receive. So a normal warehouse worker's day with the Tasklet Mobile WMS is, okay, you go into a receiving function, which is a functionality on your handheld device that you can press. I have the scanner with me here today. I'll go into the receiving function and I'll showcase that later on in this meeting as well, or in this podcast.
Right. Yeah.
But basically, you start to receive something, and then after receiving, and this is inside your inventory, you can see it inside the computer, then you maybe will like to put this away. So you take these items, and then you go to the bins or the shelves that is inside the warehouse, and then you put these away on certain bins, so you know exactly where these are when you
Absolutely.
need to pick them again for customers.
Yep.
Maybe you're a B2B company, maybe you're a B2C company, but then you basically pick these again. So it's efficient very much. So you try to receive something, put it away, then you pick it, and sometimes that's all you need to do, and sometimes you also need to ship it out and contact a shipping provider. All of these things are what you normally do, and of course these are processes that takes a little bit longer time than just explaining it like I do right now, but this is probably what you would like to do inside a warehouse. And of course you want to make lesser errors every day, and of course the less errors, the more happy employees, the more a better day you have, the better turnover, the expenditures will probably be lower, all this kind of stuff. So this is what you probably would do in a warehouse, just on an ordinary day.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful explanation. We would love to see that how it guides the user through the scanner
Mm,
when you will show the demo. Of course, we'll come
of
to that
course.
section, but not so soon. Okay. Mickey, also, can you explain how inventory counting works in the whole
And
process?
yeah, I can normally, of course, maybe a company is doing it in one way and another
Mm-hmm.
company is doing it another way. But how we would like to see it in Tasklet is that we have, for example, on our solution, we have two different inventory counting processes and also two different inventory movement processes. So actually, you can just use the device and go and move something from one bin to another bin or one location to another location. This one item, or it could also be multiple items, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you want to move stuff inside the warehouse for better positioning, so it's easier for you to maybe pick for a customer. Instead of walking the long route to the items, then you perhaps would like to go the shorter route, right? Because then you're more efficient in time, and then maybe also the employees are not walking that much, and then they're not complaining later on.
Mm.
But yeah, so that's the movement part. And then you also have the counting part where we can, like, sometimes companies count every week, sometimes every month, half a year, quarterly, or every year. So we can set up this automatic flow that is generated inside BC or NAV. This is a BC thing or a Microsoft thing, but we can send this information to the device, and then we can have employees um, go around the warehouse scanning the movement, scanning the counting, where you count the items on the shelf, and then you say, okay, we can count maybe 10 of these items, and we should
Mm-hmm.
expect to have 10 as well. And then we send this information back to a warehouse manager that needs to confirm this counting before it get updated in the system. Of
Mhm.
course, you can also choose to do it just straight away in real time, where you just count something and then just update the system, the BC or the NAV, with the counting. So we have different flows of doing it. Maybe you want more validation, more structure, or maybe you just want to do it on the get-go. So that's the two different options that we have, both in move and counting.
Okay, is there any blind counting also with Tasklet? Like they
Exactly.
typically
Yeah.
do blind counts with Tasklet, and
Oh,
workers don't see expected quantities, right?
okay. So as an employee, you could go if it's this planned movement or planned count that we have maybe every half a year. Then basically we set it up as a blind count, which means that you go to a bin or a location, and then you are told what on the device what you need to count. And there is a blank count, like you say. So you will have like the item and the item number, the item description, and maybe a picture of what you need to count. And then you start counting on the bin where this is supposed to be. And the
Hmm.
reason why we have a blank count is because we don't want the employee to have the possibility of, now I say it in a good way, of course you trust your employees, but cheating, right? So we would like them to count all of the items on the bin instead of maybe saying to the employee, okay, there should be 100 here. Then it's much more easier, like an employee, to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 100, and then just move on. So this is where the blind counts comes in handy, because you don't know
Hmm.
how many items are supposed to be there, so you count it all, and then you send this back to the warehouse manager for him or she to confirm.
Okay, and
Yeah.
can this counting thing be scheduled or
Yes.
triggered manually by warehouse managers?
That's what I said earlier on. That's you can do this every half a year, every third month. This is something that you set up on the BC side, and basically so it's
Okay.
Absolutely.
generating and then it's sent out to the device. So this is more of a ERP system thing, but we can definitely showcase this on the device as well. So this is set up to be reoccurring every month or every half a year.
Okay, Nitesh, can you be the eyes of the business central here, and can you explain how all of this connects?
Absolutely. So see, the in the end, the it's the ERP that kind of holds this all this from the backend side. The entire inventory usually gets managed from the
Definitely.
ERP like Business Central.
Yep.
Translate solution definitely helps the warehouse operations, but it's the process of obviously making sure you have the right inventory, right location, irrespective of number of warehouses you've got. You also have to plan the acquisition. You also have to make sure that the vendor to whom you have placed the purchase order will end up shipping the product, which you eventually will receive in the warehouse. And then And based on that, you give the lead time to your customer as well, so that the item gets shipped to them from the warehouse, obviously using the Tasklet WMS solution. So this entire process, we call it as distribution. It could be a manufacturing business as well. It's all eventually managed in Business Central. We've got the with the purchase sales and obviously the warehouse module, which takes care of all this. And as rightly mentioned by Nikki in terms of the item count, this all eventually gets set up into Business Central. It's the front side of the operations, which is eventually taken care by obviously a Task WMS solution. And I think it's
Hmm.
also important to understand is that when a business is eventually scaling operations, they are growing year on year, they eventually will end up receiving a lot of these items, and which eventually make sure that because they have those kind of sales orders to fulfill, they would need to manage this the inventory and obviously the acquisition side. And once you have a huge volume to kind of manage, counting the inventory and making sure you have the right stock, and obviously at times lot less stock or over stock is the bare minimum that you would expect from the warehouse operations, because you don't want to be in a situation where you have the orders to be fulfilled, but you don't have the inventory to
Hmm.
kind of fulfill that order. So I think this entire process is kind of is that backbone of any business that is into trade and distribution or manufacturing. I just want to make sure that they supply the right item at the right price to the right customer, obviously within a time frame which is mentioned as part of the agreement. Uh, and I think Task Rate solution just does that so perfectly. We have had number of scenarios here in the UK where we've implemented both Business Central and Task Rate WMS solution. And I mean, you see the kind of satisfaction our clients usually get when they adopt solution like Tasklet that syncs into Business Central on real-time basis, and the kind of feel that you get when your client is happy is not you just cannot compare that to anything. So
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, Beautiful answer, Nitesh and Mickey.
Thank you.
Nitesh, you have seen this rolled out in UK warehouses. What's the first thing warehouse staff say after using it for a week or two?
I think they get surprised. They definitely think that why didn't they do it earlier? I think that's the feedback that we get. I think it's also about helping them realize is that it's not that if they'll probably automate, let's say, the warehouse solution or operations through Tasklet, it's not that it's going to cost a fortune for them. A lot of these companies usually have a notion that it will take a it will take a huge time, and obviously the entire process will be cumbersome. We don't have enough staff to manage these kind of projects. But a solution like Tasklet usually takes about a couple of days for us to configure and deploy it.
Hmm.
And which is so easy, and obviously knowing that a lot of the warehouses in the UK or let's say other parts of the world are usually located in the remote locations. So they do want to, and where you don't have the good network connection, good Wi-Fi. So this offline functionality within TaskRate really helps companies that they can still make sure that they can receive the orders, ship the orders, to put aways, and all those kind of things without even getting worried about the internet connection in the warehouse.
Hmm.
I think these kind of insights and discussions that we have, they tend to realize, okay, this is what they are missing. And going forward, I keep saying that it's something which is going to be necessity. It's not optional now, and I think it's also a part of the job, and obviously from Trusted as well, is to make sure that companies are aware. It's not going to take huge time, and a sort of a it's not a man sort of a resource consuming kind of a process as well.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think maybe Mickey, you want to add anything on this? Feel free.
No, I think you hit the nail on the coffin there. It's just we also hear a lot of customers saying when they try out Tasla for the first time, then they are actually regretting not doing it earlier because it is very tedious work that you probably did before. So to skip the beat or to just try to do this much quicker, more efficiently, that's it increases both, of course, the lower errors that you have inside the warehouse, but you also get much more happier employees. And we tend to say with our solution that I would say half an hour, then you know the basic stuff. And if you have tried this for a whole day, just the first maybe 8 hour shift on your day for a new employee, then you basically know what to do with Tasklet, because we very much are praised, but we also like it ourselves, our user UI, because this is what the employees see on the floor, on the warehouse. So this is what they interact with most of the time during the day. So why not have like an interface that really talks to this employee? So I definitely agree with you. This is where we see the most happy customers. And then of course also you say it's a couple of days, then you should be up and running with Tasklet. Yeah, of course that's also the partner side of it, but we also like a couple of hours, then we have also our things sorted out, and like the collaboration between Dynamic Square and also Tasklet, as well as we of course do also have other partners, but a partner like you guys, and this is also a praise for you. You have done this before, so we also very quick setting this up with the customer, so it doesn't take a lot of time, and probably we saved a lot of implementation time from if they went with another solution. So yeah, go ahead. We also have a free trial, so you could go ahead and try it out with your own environment, and then see if it's something for you, because then you can see that it's probably something we want to get started with right away. So, but of course, with all of the ISVs out there solutions, then there is a cost of implementing something, but it's not huge compared to like what you would save through time, I think. So the return on investment for the customers looking at this out there, then with Tasklet at least, we tend to say that maybe 0 to month 12. So in the first year, then you'll probably see all of this returning home. So that's investment in your employees and in your stock.
Okay. Uh, we are already like we're not even half of there and half there, and I'm already blown away. Okay. Okay, Vicky. Let's deep dive more. I'm very intrigued now. Let's talk about old systems, like switching from old systems.
Yeah.
Mickey, what's the tipping point for companies? Like, why do they decide it's time to move away from paper or older systems and go for Tasklet?
Yeah. So basically, we integrate with the both, of course, only the Microsoft Dynamics environment. So with the old NAVs and also with the newer BC versions, both on-prem but also in the cloud. So basically, one of the tipping points is, of course, that when companies are starting to migrate to the cloud or using BC, then sometimes it makes sense to, of course, it comes in different phases, but also to get like the inventory management system into it and use the mobile WMS for it. I understand. Also, we have a lot of older NAV customers that tend to stay on this because they show full commitment to it. They feel safe in the old NAV system. So when we see these
They're more
migrations to
comfortable.
BC,
Yeah.
they're more comfortable because they know what they're doing. So, but the tipping point is actually what we see is that when they get this device in their hand and they start to feel comfortable with it instead of using pen and paper, even though it can be a lot of sometimes you think that technology is very tricky, but we have tried to make it seamless and also so easy to do or to use. So I would say that get it in your hands, try it out, then you can see that you will actually save a lot of time. And that's probably one of the best tipping points, that okay, you are actually much more efficient with this. Your employees are much more happy. You reduce errors. You make sure that your customers that eventually will get these shipments from you when you start packaging or picking something, that you actually don't send out wrong shipments, because then both your customers will probably be unhappy, but then they will also ship this back to you, and then your employees needs to do double weight because now they need to do this again while they also focus on other customers as well. So it is just a hassle to keep sometimes doing this in the old way. So I mean, we just improve slightly or a lot of areas, and then when you try it out, I think that's the tipping point. So it's very hard to say what makes the cut for different companies, because if you're a production company, maybe it's the production feature. If you're a distribution company, maybe you need to look into shipping, right? So yeah, that's That's different.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think you've
Go ahead.
helped. I think you've made a good point here, Nitya and Amita. I think it's also about understanding that a lot of these businesses in the UK, they are still using legacy applications. I know companies
Mm,
who have been using older ERP applications for last 10, 20 years or so, and their WMS solution, even if they try to implement some solution, doesn't sync well with their current ERP applications. And there's a lot of manual upload of data, a lot of sort of they tend to have an integration, but that doesn't work correctly, and that just creates the lot of cumbersome processes, a lot of
mm,
duplicacy of data. And this is where whenever we discuss about companies who are eventually looking for a solution like Microsoft Dynamics 365, we emphasize a lot on their warehouse operations. We
mm,
emphasize a lot on discussing whether they have a warehouse or they work with 3PL. And if they do have a warehouse, we obviously discuss about the number of orders that they process, what volume they have got, what number of users they have got.
mm.
And then based on those scenarios, we usually recommend going for a task WM solution because eventually companies are going through a change whenever they are changing their ERP application or perhaps moving from accounting to an ERP application. Then why not you cover and automate your warehouse operations from the word go? Why are you waiting, to make sure that
Yeah.
because eventually you're losing money on the table, right? If you're not
Hmm.
serving your customer, if you're not shipping the right item, because customers' demand has grown a lot, and they're always, as you know, you have to make sure that your customers are satisfied. And this combination of Business Central with Tasklet, this just smoothens up the entire process for obviously for the business and also for partners like us who really want to make sure that we are helping our clients achieve more both through Business Central and Task WM solution there. Amita and Nitin.
If I can also jump in here, I completely agree, and it's just what you say about like customers, but also as well as us as like end customers, buying customers, the three of us, right? We know that companies right now they have the huge possibility of technology, so we also expect more of our shipments. We don't want to receive incorrect shipments. We don't want to receive the wrong shirt if we are buying something, right? Because we know technology is out there. It's a very high demand for different customers. So we also know that
Hmm.
this needs to be on point. So this is also where you would need to maybe interpret this and maybe also try to find out, okay, is this the right solution for you right now? And of course, I as a salesperson, I also know that, okay, when I talk with customers, probably also those watching right now, that when I speak with the COO or the CEO of a company, then I also, of course, need to talk about happy employees, but also what is the return on investment? Where can you see this investment going, and what will you save through time? But I also need to speak up for like the employees on the floor doing the picking, doing the receiving, doing the put away, all of the
Yes.
counting, because these also needs to be happy. And
Yeah.
I think we have come to a certain point now that I've tried both things to look into the economy, but also try to walk around in the warehouse, and we need to satisfy all of these different entities or all of these persons. So, yeah, we just expect more as employees, but also as top C-suite people. So yeah,
Yeah. That
Mhm.
it's basically when the ground works smoothly, everything comes aligned,
yeah,
it
yeah,
all works
exactly,
smoothly and efficiently. Correct.
definitely.
That's what I wanted to know from you, Nitesh, as well, that dynamic square point of view.
Mhm.
When someone comes to you thinking, what should I do? I need to make that jump, but what should I do right now? Like, what's your advice on that, and how you help them approach that solution?
Sure, Amita. So usually we discuss, all these scenarios, possible or probably whatever they want to do in phase two during the discovery session, where we
Hmm.
do a requirement understanding, sort of a discussion with the prospective business, not only from the warehouse, but also from the finance, purchases, inventory, and the manufacturing side of the business. And during this entire process, we ask a lot of questions. Obviously, it's more of a conversational discussion, just like we are having right now. We discuss that. And we also kind of discuss what is why, why they are looking for a change, or and perhaps what is that, because all of these companies usually, there's a shift that happens in every business, right? For some businesses, it may happen quite quickly. Some of the businesses usually take a bit more time to realize that what they have kind of missed. And when we emphasize a lot on the warehouse operations. At times, visit their warehouse just to see the sheer scale of their operations, and where Tasklet WMS solution could fit in. And
Hmm.
based on that, we sort of plan the blueprint, the scope of work, starting from Business Central with the ISV solution like Tasklet, and if there is any other ISV solution that needs to be deployed.
Hmm.
So we discuss on that. I think, Mickey, if you can also perhaps share insights in terms of the shipment integration, the courier integration as well, which a lot of these companies in the UK especially, they use a lot of these services to ship the items. But it's the it's kind of the story that we sort of discuss and share, and obviously um, and then we also discuss about what is the end goal if we start off from this, what is the phase-wise rollout that we are looking at, and when they can eventually see the ROI, which is mentioned by Mickey quite correctly. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, I think it's companies have now started to realize it, that it's time for them to really get going. Whatever they have been doing, I mean, like they can still keep doing it, but if they want to perhaps scale their operations and make sure that they are doing better than their competition, and really making a dent in the market, automation has to be there, irrespective of obviously different operations.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think that's my thoughts on this, Tanika.
Yeah, I know you work on the ground level, Nitesh, and many companies are very nervous about this transformation as well, right? Especially when they are coming from manual to something so automated, right? Uh,
Hmm.
During this, I believe that biggest mistakes happen, like biggest of the biggest mistakes sometimes happen without knowing, right?
Hmm.
uh, Especially when they try to upgrade their warehouse processes. So
Hmm.
what are those mistakes, and how do we help them, outcome that entire
Yeah,
situation
absolutely.
that they
Yeah.
got stuck? Yeah.
Yeah, Srinivas, I totally believe that solutions are as good as the people behind leading that change or delivering that project for the customers. And we usually emphasize a lot during the first phase, which is the analysis phase, where we do a detailed understanding of their core processes. We spend good amount of days, at times weeks, depending upon the requirement. At times, as I said, do these sessions on site to really understand the scale of their business, and what the business would eventually get or probably experience in the next 2, 3 years, 5 years as far as the growth is concerned. And
Hmm.
we then prepare the documents, and which are the BRD, FRD, and the gap fit to understand what they are right now, where they are right now, and what is the end goal, and how we can sort of bridge that gap through solutions like Dynamics 365 and Tasklet. And once that
Hmm.
is clear, we obviously do a detailed walkthrough session with them, make sure that they are comfortable with this change. I think it's not about sending a solution; it's about helping your customer buy that solution, and that's what we focus on. Uh, and there has to be a clear why, and there has to be a sort of a why, which is like kind of can be fulfilled through the must-have features in the phase one, and whatever is nice to have, we tend to push that to phase two or phase three. So and yes, during these processes, obviously training and testing is quite critical as well. Configuration, obviously our team takes care of that, but we also have to make sure that the businesses they're comfortable with using the application before we plan the go live, and it's making sure that they have a comprehensive training and testing, which is very critical, because we expect some learning curve for the users, right? For the companies moving from some other applications to Dynamics 365, although the UI and interface of both Dynamics and Tasktech is quite easy to use and understand. But no two users are same, right? Some users may probably, may learn a bit quickly. Some of the users may take some more time. But I think, it's about making sure that they're comfortable, being more empathetic towards them, and making sure that we have a smooth rollout. So there are a series of steps that we do, and we discuss that. We will prepare and submit a document do a walkthrough of those sessions and make sure that they are they're ready for this change. And obviously, once the application goes live, it's supposed for live support. For instance, we get some great support from Tasklet team, pretty good support team that they've got. Because I know whenever we need any help, whenever a client have got some issues, the team is quite prompt and then eventually make sure that we do get the solution for a customer probably in a day or two. Maybe Mickey, you want to add anything on this in terms of the support side as well?
Actually, I was hoping you would bring this up because yes, I really would love to say something about that because there's this whole process of a company evaluating whether or not they want this mobile WMS system. But of course, the first point of contact will always be Dynamic Square, and it will always be you. Uh, but like you say, we are here to help. That's the biggest department inside Tasklet is our service department. I think they also for the people out there, we are around in Tasklet 70 people. We are here in the northern Denmark, but we are also located in Florida in the US. And we will also sort of have people working from the Australia office that we will come to set up or come to have. So we would like to work 24/7, and we are here to help and support. So it will not take 1 week or 2 week to answer you in
Mm,
Dynamic Square when you get like a query from the customer. We are here to help within half an hour, maybe 2 hours, depending on
mm,
on the load and this is also where we have the perfect ticket system, just so the customers know that out there that if it's a huge problem, then we have a critical hotline that you can call straight away because we don't want your warehouse to be down because eventually that's a lot of money you could lose, and it's very annoying work for the employees as well if they need to do it manually if they have switched for it like a device mobile scanning solution. So yeah, but we are here to help, and first point of contact will always, as I said, be Dynamic Square, and then we're here to help you guys. Uh, but yeah, with more than 2,000 customers out there, like we have right now, spread across the whole world, then we have probably seen one of the issues that one of your companies or customers would probably face. We've probably seen that before, so we can help make the
mm,
customization, or we can help maybe giving our expertise on how, okay, you should not do it like this because that's not efficient. And we have the expertise about that. So just ask us questions straight away as well. So this
Yeah.
we want like, and I know it's very easy to say, we want the
Mm,
customers to feel happy with the product because eventually
mm,
that is what drives up Tasklet as well. This is how we sell our product, and I would love to sell our product to more customers so they could be more happy. So eventually, if we do a good work for one of the customers, then it will be like a happy story for both Dynamic Square, for both Tasklet, but also for the customer itself. So
yeah.
yeah, we all want it all to function.
Perfect.
absolutely.
Uh, yeah, let's talk about scalability and growth now. Mickey, if a company starts small
Yeah,
but expands to multiple warehouses or even different countries,
yeah.
can Taslet also do that? Can Taslet keep up with that?
Yeah, of course. So you can start out with Tasklet if you're only one employee and you want like one device, then we can also be very good in a simple, very basic warehouse. So I don't know if the companies all out there knows it, but this you can set up an advanced warehouse, but also a basic warehouse inside BC. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so whether it's the basic one, we can do this. We can like receive on a purchase order. We can also pick on a sales order. That's all basic, but we can also turn it up more advanced. So we can do some other processes and some other features which maybe perhaps is more scalable and bigger companies would like to use. Then we have all these kind of different BC document types out there, which is basically uh, sort of documents that you open on the device and then you can start doing something and then you will update BC with it. So, but yeah, whether you have one or 400, 500 devices, we can definitely fulfill that gap. In terms of transferring between warehouses, if you start out with one warehouse in one country or maybe multiple warehouses in one country or another country, then we can also make transfer orders between these. This is of course still a BC thing, but we can handle it well on the device as well. We can of course do transfer orders so you can receive something from another warehouse, another location. We can also ship something to this warehouse. So all of these smooth processes are still in line. So yeah, we can do that as well.
Okay, that was my only question. You answered it already. One
Perfect.
more small question is that can you also set different permissions for each location so that basically teams only see what they need to
Yeah.
for each
So
location?
of course, so I'll also show you this in a moment in the demo that I will do that we plan to do.
You're quite excited.
Yeah, present on our device, if you can see it here, we have all the functionalities. So different users can see different functions. So you could have like one location seeing the full functionality, and you can have another location only seeing maybe some of the functions. But this is down to user level, which you set up inside BC or NAV.
Absolutely.
So this is down to, for example, if you have an employee working in the production zone, maybe he or she only needs to see the production features, and then somebody else is working inside the receiving zone, and then they also need only to see the receiving. So this is set up
Hmm,
on different user levels, and of course, then can also be set on different locations as well. But this
hmm.
is down to the user. So yeah, but we can do this as well.
So from Business Central perspective, Nitesh, how smooth is for them to access to the different countries and different locations? And the question that I said earlier was that is it easier for them to, dock it in and they can see only what they want to, not more than
Yeah,
that? Like, yeah.
absolutely. Because it is a user roles and permission module within Business Central. So whenever we do any implementation, we this is the exercise which we do in every implementation, where
Hmm,
you have full users and you have a team member users, limited users as well, right? This is something which we do, obviously working with the admin of that client. We
hmm,
also have to understand obviously the user roles in terms of what eventually they would be doing in their warehouse. So this entire
hmm,
exercise usually gets set up in the warehouse, or sorry, in the Business Central module, which then gets
hmm,
synced to the Tasklet WMS device, which is mentioned by Vicky. So it's
hmm.
the ERP like Business Central that drives this, that
Yep.
eventually holds this entire data. And then once that data feeds into Tasklet, the users will eventually will get to see that part of the operations only that where they have the task or job to assign to be done for that particular day or let's say month. So yeah, I
All
don't think
right.
it's a cumbersome process. It's part of every implementation, Vanita. And usually takes about a day or two for us to understand and configure that for the customers.
All right. So, when a business expands and when you see that kind of growth, and when you are handling that kind of growth, Nitesh, how do you make sure the rollout is smooth and not disruptive to day-to-day operations?
Yes. So with that said, it's the different milestones that we achieve in any implementation. First and foremost is the analysis phase, which is quite critical. Which
Hmm,
kind of I would say 60-70%, does the work for us because it is that phase where we understand the business in detail. We don't even discuss about the technology, what they are using during this process, because it's for us to probably not think about which technology they are using, but focus more on their business processes and make sure we get automate that and streamline that through Dynamics and obviously through Tasklet.
hmm, hmm,
And then you go ahead and do the configuration, training, and testing, and then you go live. So it's an exercise for about a couple of months. So
hmm,
and it's the analysis and training and testing phase, which is super critical because it is that this is the phase where we tend to speak with the customers, with their project sponsors, the end users, and there are series of steps, milestones, and documents around the analysis and UAT that we seek sign off on, so that the customer is aware what is going to be implemented, so that we don't have any issues when we go live. Obviously, there are processes in terms of quality checks internally that we do before we even plan a go live. Some of these projects require our teams to be deployed on site, could be during the analysis and
hmm.
training testing phase, and obviously
Yes.
through go live phase as well. That just smoothen up the entire process. So we tend to not rush the entire process. In ARP implementation itself is quite a change, the big change for every business because all the operations are eventually getting impacted through this change. And the last thing we want is for them to make them feel overcomplicated or overwhelmed with this entire
Yeah,
implementation.
yeah,
And
exactly.
um, and this is something which we don't want obviously clients to face or feel. And
Yeah,
but I would still say that when you have an ISV solution like Tasklet, that it really helps partners like us to to uh, to help our clients understand that it's not a massive project.
yeah.
Although warehouse in itself, the shared operation, it looks like that, it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of manual
Hmm.
effort, a lot of resources are required to automate this entire process, which is not the case, which is it's on us, and obviously with the help of the Tasklet team, the likes of Mickey, that really helps things and makes things simple and easy for our customers and obviously for partners like us.
Yeah, that's beautiful because when you use an IC like Tasklet, the customers are, from the beginning, as Mickey said, it just takes 2 hours, and when once the user use it for the entire day, he's a pro in it, I'm sure. So I guess that trust building gains from day one, right?
If I'm going to
So
answer that, so yeah, I hope so. At least that's what we hear out there, that when they've tried it out, then they are not switching back. Um, Tasklet, we have like our churn, which is maybe it's not exciting for everyone else, but we don't have a lot of customers leaving Tasklet, and if they do, it's because
Mm,
they may be going for another ERP system. Maybe they're going for
hmm,
mm,
a competing ERP system, which is also totally fair. But here we are
mm.
not right now. We are in the Microsoft Dynamics environment, and then sometimes this happen, and then we also wish these companies good luck because maybe they're going with something else. But we don't see a lot of customers, and I can assure you that this is
switching.
not just
Hmm.
something I say, but they're not switching for a competing solution. No, that's not
I
what I hear.
I agree with you on this, Mickey.
Yeah,
I haven't experienced that in the UK for last 8 years. It's kind of
yeah,
project that we have involved Tasklet on. I haven't seen any customer reaching out to me and saying that this device doesn't work and this solution doesn't work. I haven't seen that. In fact, when we are not receiving any kind of sort of escalation from the customer, which eventually means that they are quite happy with the product, which is
yeah.
obviously mentioned by Mickey. And also to add on to this, I think it's when we talk about smooth configuration and implementation, we also tend to go a bit in phase wise as well. So let's say if we have let's say 50 or 20 users in any warehouse operations, we at times can start off with a one or two users just to make sure that the task rate is working fine for them along with the central and then replicating to other users is not sort of a time taking process, so we can start small as well and then obviously scale up based on their warehouse operations there as well. So yeah.
Absolutely. All right, let's come to a segment of live demo. Most of us are very excited, and this is the most awaited section. Especially Mickey is waiting for this entire thing, and
Of
let's
course.
start. All right, Mickey, show us how it actually works, and let's see Tasklet in action finally.
Perfect. I'll share my screen here so everybody can see it. So hopefully you can see it
Yeah,
right now. So
Yep.
this
yeah,
is, we'll just also do this briefly. Uh, and basically just to add on what you said before as well, Nitesh, then also with saying we don't have a lot of customers leaving Taslet, which is good, both for you and us. Then we have around 25 or 30 new customers every month joining Taslet. So this number just keeps rolling up, which is probably because we have something that is probably good. So I just urge all of the customers out there just to try it out. We also have a free trial, so try and see if it's something for you, and if it's not, give me the feedback because then I have something that we can change. But hopefully that's not the
Mm.
case. So, but
nice.
yeah, going into the demo. So this is our this is just a Honeywell device which you can have inside the warehouse, and this is all of the functionalities that we allow. So basically, this is full functionality, and with Tasklet you get full access to all functionalities from the get-go. So we only have one price, one functionality. This is how it is right now, and we have customers loving this. So we keep it as this for the moment. But basically, you can see here in the top left corner, we have receive. This is where you receive something. We have put away as well. This is where after you have received something, you put this away on different bins and shelves. And then when these are already stored and the inventory is top notch, then you might go in and pick these kind of items that you would need to ship or sell to your customers. Then we can also count. As you see, we have both the count and unplanned count function. The count is where the warehouse manager confirms that this is actually true. This is the blind count where you're counting something. This is going to be approved before this can be sent into the system and updated inside BC. If the warehouse manager thinks this is not correct, what you have counted inside the warehouse, because maybe we have an old purchase order of 100 items and we only sold like 20 of these, so there should be 80 left. And if there's only 50 left, then something is probably wrong, and then maybe you can send it out for a recount. But this is all inside this planned function of counting. Then we also have the unplanned count function where you can just go to a bin, scan the bin that you were counting something on, scan the item and say, okay, there is 20 of these items. Okay, I update BC straight away, real time. And it's the same with the move down here. The warehouse manager decides if this is going to be moved inside the BC inventory storage. And then you also have the unplanned move where, I mean, the employee on the floor decides themselves whether or not they would like to update the movement. Then we can also locate items. If you find something in the middle of the warehouse, we can also go to a shelf or a bin and see what is actually supposed to be in this bin. Then we of course also have production, assembly. We can also do pack and ship, which means that after you've picked something and put it into different boxes or containers, pallets, then you can actually ship these pallets out directly from the handheld device, which we are one of the very few in the whole world which can do. And then you can basically book, you can fill in the weight and also the measurements on this device, and I'll also show you this. And then you'll basically contact the shipping provider, you'll print out a label, you'll stick this onto the pallet or on the box, the packaging, and then you're good to go, and then probably the shipment carrier will come and pick this up. So we can do all of this from the device as well. Of course, you will need to speak with some other companies besides Tasklet to set this up, but this is a partner question. So this is where you can trust Dynamics Square to do the work. And if they have issues with it, then they can contact Tasklet, and then we are more than happy to help. But yeah, let me just do this briefly. I think if we can do this for in 5 to 7 minutes to show briefly this, then you have a good understanding of what it is, and then you can always reach out to Nitesh, Ramita, and me, and then we can give you a full-blown demo of Tasklet if you want to see more. Yeah, always just reach out. But basically, if we go inside the receiving function here, we can press on receive, and then now you can see we have 12 receiving orders. These orders can be both purchase orders, but if you scroll down, it can also be sales return order from a customer that's not happy with the shipment. Hopefully that's not the case, but that could be. And then we also have inbound transfer orders here, which could be if you are scalable or a bigger company, maybe you have different other locations as well, where you can ship something from that location to the main warehouse maybe, or a secondary warehouse. Then you can see this as an inbound transfer order. But basically on the device, we don't care. It's the same for us. It's a receiving order, which we can filter on up in the top right corner here on the different locations, depending on where we are in the world. We can set the expected receiving date, the purchase order number, and then we can also allocate this for different users. So right now I can see it all because I do this demo, but maybe sometimes you have an employee that can only see maybe from one region of the world. Maybe you can see from certain vendors because they are affiliated or associated. Normally they do this process with this vendor, and then they would like only to see that. But I can see it all. So we just hit apply here. And then basically you could have 100 receiving orders. So then if you have 100 pallets in front of you or 100 containers in the receiving zone, then it might be difficult to navigate and go through the handheld device here to see, okay, which one do I need to jump into? Then you can actually scan an item from that container or that pallet, and then on this barcode, we just filter down or narrow down to the exact receiving order. So if I scan another item here, so this first item, which was a Marabou chocolate that you can eat, this was inside two receiving orders. But if I scan the Marabou pistachio, which is also good to eat, then you can see that we jump straight into this receiving order because this item is only inside one receiving order. So this is a quick way of filtering. So instead of going through all of this paperwork, go to the computer, use a lot of time to find the right delivery note or anything like that, a vendor note, you can actually just scan it and then you jump straight into it because this has
Yeah,
been
I
released from
have
BC.
I have one question. What if
Yeah,
the worker scans the item in a he scans the incorrect item?
if there is an
Does it
incorrect
triggers you
item,
immediately?
yeah, so if they scan an item that is not inside any of the pallets, then there'll come up an error, of course. We can try to go back actually. Then I've not tried this parameter, but I can try to scan one of these barcodes. This is actually inside one as well. Let me try to scan something else. This is also inside a receiving order. But if I scan an item that is not, if I scan like a barcode instead, there will be no orders match the filter because this is not
All
true.
right.
So this is why I
Yep.
say if you have an item that is in more receiving orders, then it will be narrowed down. Then you need to pick the right one. But of course, this helps you a lot. But else it will jump straight into it. And if it's not inside one of the pallets or inside one of the receiving orders, then there will come up an error and then you cannot see it. But basically, if we go and scan the Marabou pistachio again, then we get told here now we need to actually receive 10 of these Marabou orange because this is also inside the pallet. We need to receive 15 of the Marabou pistachio, 15 of the Puka peppermint tea, and also 3 of the golf balls. So the first two items here, where you can see the item number and also the description, here you can actually add more description if you want maybe an employee to see like a red text, a red box saying, okay, you need to be careful with this item, then you can see it. But you can also see we have different unit of measures out here, pieces and boxes. And we also like the Puka peppermint tea, that is lot number track, so we can see the expiration date or other stuff. And then the golf balls down here are serial number tracks, so we need to scan serial numbers in this inbound process. However, you can also skip this in the inbound process, and then you can also just decide to scan the serial numbers in the outbound process because sometimes you don't care which kind of serial numbers that is inside the inventory. You only care about which serial numbers that goes out of the warehouse because then you can always find back to and track it back to the selling company. But basically now you just go ahead and scan the first item, which is the Marabou orange. You scan the barcode, and then now you can, if you can count 10 inside the pallet, then you say yes, we have 10, and now it turns green. And now we have received this. This is also where we work offline. So when we're inside an order like this, I can try to go back here and leave the page. But now you can see it turns orange out here because if I go into it one more time, now when we're inside this receiving order, and it's the same with the put away orders or the receipt or the picking orders, now we work offline. So now we have downloaded these lines down to the handheld device. So if there's a weak access point, if the internet is gone, then you can actually keep on
Yeah.
working on this order as well. And then of course when you need to post this and update BC or update your ERP system, then you would need, of course, to have the internet back. But then you can
Yeah.
always go back into it and then post it, and then you update the system. But
Or else
you
the
don't
work is
lose,
saved.
yeah, the work is saved, and you don't lose all of
When
the work
you,
that you have
yeah.
just done. So this also helps a lot of customers, and
Hmm.
this is maybe also one of the tipping points that we talked about before. This can also convince customers to go to Tasklet way instead of some of our competitors as well, because they
Hmm.
probably don't have this offline, or I know they don't have it. So yeah, so this is one of the tipping points that we have. So yeah, hopefully you like it. Then we can actually go and do the same thing down here with the Marabou pistachio, but I don't want to tire you with this, but you just do the same thing. We can also set it up to over count, so we can count 17 instead. Then you, of course, will need to pay for 2 more items at the vendor side, but we can also set it up so if you only receive 10 of these 15, then this receiving order will still be open, and then maybe tomorrow you will receive the remaining 5, and then you just do it again. If you lack these 5 and these will not come, if you only can find 10 of these Marabou pistachio, then you need a administration worker to go inside this receiving order and cancel it out, because we need to erase it from the device so you cannot see it anymore. But yeah,
Okay.
but basically it's the same down here with the Pucker peppermint tea. You can scan. We scan the tea here, scan the tea, and now I need to set up expiration date, so I can press the calendar. Then I can choose a date, say done, and then now I can move on, scan a lot number, which some of you companies out there maybe knows. I scan a lot number, and then now I put in the quantity, which is 15. I can also scan something on one lot number and then the remaining 5 on another lot number, and then I can also put it away on different bins. So you always have the possibility to do whatever. If I scan an item that is not inside this receiving order, then you get an error because you cannot do this. So the device guides you and helps you through the different steps of what you will need to do, and this you can set up inside BC. So if you have an item that is lot number tracked, but you don't need to set the expiration date, then you just say, okay, I don't want to do this. Then it's not popping up on the device. So all these different kind of steps you can manage yourself. You can also long press the lines here and maybe delete the registrations, and you can also print out barcodes, so you can take a picture of a pallet or of a product. Maybe it's something wrong with it. Maybe there's a little small hole inside one of the boxes. Then you can take a picture, say to the vendor, hey, we don't want to pay for this because there is a mistake. So this all is allowed from the shortcuts down here at the bottom. And then you just post inside BC here, say yes. And now I need to scan a delivery note number, which you can also delete, or you can also say that the employees need to put in a signature, whatever you decide. And then now we actually update BC. The remaining items that we didn't do continues to be here, but now we just updated, and now we received these items, and now we can go into put away and put this away on different bins. Yeah, so I can try to do this as well, and then we are more or less done. So now these items that we just received, we can actually put them away now. So we need to go to this bin W03002 and put away this Marabou orange. And then we need to go W03003 to put away the Pucker peppermint tea and scan the lot number so we know which kind of the expiration dates that we have on this bin. So this is just, but it's the same thing now. I just scan the product again. And then I need to go to that bin, which is expected for us to store it on. If I scan a bin that is incorrect, that I get a mistake, do you really want to continue put this away on a different bin than what you are expected to do? I want to say no, because I want to scan the right bin, and then I scan the right bin instead, and then I put away these 10 on this bin, and then we can update, and now the system knows that we have 10 more Marabou orange on this bin. So the inventory will always be correct if you do it, of course, in the right way. Human errors can always occur, but if you do it properly, then we would probably eliminate those kind of errors. Yes.
In the real time, if I am using this, I'm a warehouse worker. My manager will be able to see whatever I'm doing right now in the real time.
Yeah, so basically there is like a user ID bound up to what you do on the device. So if you do something that is incorrect, the warehouse manager, if he or she wants to see it, then they can see what you actually did wrong, but they can also see what you did good right. So they can use it in both ways. So yeah, sometimes people like this, and you can also, if I go all the way back here, then you can see I can log in with my details here. Mine is MSV, but you can also scan an ID card, and then you log in on your specific user, and then we log in to that user again. Some companies use this, but also other companies just have device 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 10, and then a user just picks the device, and then we don't know. We only know which device it was, but we didn't know which kind of user it was. So it's depending on what you would like to use as a customer. Yeah, just to finish this quickly, then inside the picking here, then you can actually go inside picking, and maybe now you pick for a sales order for a customer. Here you can pick for a shipment. You can also pick for production. You can pick for assembly orders. So we can pick for everything. So down here at the bottom, we can actually go and pick. This is the Marabou orange. You see this 3 times now because there's 3 different customers wanting the Marabou orange. So instead of walking 3 times out to the Marabou orange, then you can actually go and pick it all at once, put it into different boxes, and then you know box 1 is for customer 1, box 2 is for customer 2, and then you actually know, okay, when you need to ship this out and print out a printing label, then you know, okay, box 2 with customer 2, they need this shipping label with this shipping information, and then you can start shipping it and maybe put in the different measures of the boxes and the weight. But this is the same way it functions. So you go to the bin, which is up here, then you scan the item that you're picking, then you scan the bin where you're taking it. If I scan another bin where it's not supposed to be, then it wants to make, are you sure you want to pick this from another bin? I can say yes, but then if it's not there, then you will get an error later on. So you actually want to pick it from the correct bin if you can, yeah, if you can count it, which is this one here, 02. And then you go on, and then you can do this. Here you can see the insert bin is, which I tried to scan now, was the 002. That is not valid. I actually needed to pick it from the 005 bin. So if I scan the 005 bin, then it's this one. Yeah, now I just need to scan the box where I'm putting this down into. And now I can scan a box. And then now I put these 3 Marabou into box 1. And then I can keep on doing this. And as you can see at the bottom, the customer, which also the customer 15 here, which also needs both the Marabou orange and the Marabou pistachio, then I'm getting told that I need to put this inside the same box. So we always can align which kind of customers they got what sort of things. And then you can actually, when you post this and update BC, so we can print out the shipping label, I can actually go into pack and ship down here at the bottom, and then I can find the shipment order. And now you can see we could have box 1 and 2 for this customer. Now we have 100 400 and 100 401. Then actually I can combine. You can actually go and see the content that is inside these different boxes, which we have right here. But I can actually press menu and combine all of these contents to a new box. So we put it all inside one box, and now I can put in the measures and which kind of shipping service I want to use. If I want to use DHL or a local UK supplier, I can choose that. So let's say yes. And we need to do it as a standard or an overnight shipment. We want to choose overnight from packing station A. Then now I actually have the information I need from the shipping carrier side, and now I need to go, and maybe I can go inside this here, and then now I decide, am I putting this inside a medium box or a large box or a big box, small box? Then I can say I want to put it inside a big box because we have a lot of items. Then I can say yes, and now I need to put in maybe the width, which is 30 centimeters. Then I need to put inside the length as well, which is 25. But I don't need to put the kilos inside of it or the pounds, or I don't need to put in the depth of it because that's already predefined inside BC. So now I have all of this information, and then I can press post. It doesn't look like much, but now it's printing out the shipping label. We contact the shipping carrier, and now we can stick this label onto the box, and now we can ship it away. So we can handle it all from the mobile device. And I know this was a quick guide, and I know that we didn't go into count or move, but this is also something we can do. It's very easy. You can go to our website, or we can showcase you a full demo for free. Just contact Dynamic Square or us that we can do it. So yeah, that's basically a little teaser of what we can do here at Tasklet.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautifully explained, Mickey. Just one last question. As a new warehouse worker, how much time will I take to learn all of the process that you just gave a demo?
So I early on in this podcast, I said that it will probably take half an hour just to get acquainted with it, but maybe I would say not a whole day. It could also just be a couple of hours. But if you have like the first shift that you have maybe on a Monday, then if you can go in and try out all of these functions, but it doesn't take a lot of time. You get told all of the processes. You have all of the steps that is set up by the warehouse manager, maybe saying when an employee does this, we need to ask for these sort of validation points. And then we'll put this information into BC when we post something or when we accomplish something. And then it's all it's of course with all of the stuff. Also, when you get a new cell phone, or when you want to try and ride a bike, of course that takes maybe more some more days. But
Definitely. Yeah.
it's just doing it, and that's why we love our user interface with the colors and the good logos and functionalities, because it's easier to learn. And I'm not lying, it didn't take half an hour for me when I tried it out, but one of my colleagues that have also worked with Tasklet, it only took half an hour. For me, it took like what was that? Maybe 2 or 3 hours to really get acquainted with it because I wanted to know it all. But then the next day I could use it fully. So yeah,
Mm.
Yeah, actually, I can actually imagine the way you were showing, and the all the processes were actually so smooth.
yeah,
So I can also guarantee that if I give it an hour or so, I'm gonna be pro at it, right, Nitesh?
exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Amrita, Mickey, and thank you for this demo. I think it was pretty helpful for the
Yeah, thank you
maybe for
so
the
much.
audience
Yeah.
Of
to
course.
know. But yeah, I think looking at and knowing the kind of project that we have delivered during Tasklet, it hasn't taken a lot of time for our end users, client end users, to eventually learn the product. It's because of the share usage and the share the UI and the way it works. So I think, like you said, Mickey, for some users it may take half an hour. For some, it may take a couple of hours, but it won't take days and weeks for them to learn
No.
this product. So yeah.
That was actually very good. Yeah.
As I said, I didn't want to lie because I'm a little bit of a slow learner, so it took me a couple of hours instead of the half an hour. But we have feedback saying that sometimes it takes half an hour. So it's all
Mm.
depending on what you who you are, what you do, and if it's a small company or a larger company. Um, but yeah, that should not be the thing that is going to frighten anybody. Not even,
Absolutely.
and now I'm just putting something out there. If you're 80 years old, then sometimes you might feel like this, oh, maybe this is a little bit too tricky, maybe it's a new technology, but try to give it a go because it's easy. And of course, if you don't like it, then you can do something else. But yeah, I would urge people to try it out because it's much more fun and it's easier. We don't use the old phones with the turning block anymore. Now we're using the smartphones, right? And we all love it, even both the young people and the elderly people and the people in between. So yeah, give it a go, I would say.
Sure, but in my experience, I would say slow learners are
Mm.
turning out to be a permanent, giving like a best output ever. So I
I
believe
think you're, yeah, I think
even
you're
if you're a
right.
slow learner,
Yeah,
yeah, I can see that. Yeah, we all can see that right now, Vicky. So thank you
perfect.
so much for such a beautiful, descriptive yet short demo.
Mm.
Let's before we wrap up now, Mickey, where do you see warehouse tech heading over the next couple of years?
Of course. So in the last, I would say, 10 years, maybe 15 years, and also just the last 5 years and 2 years. So all of the years just previous to this, I think we have seen progress of course of more technology. It's going to be faster. We have more ways of doing stuff, also with the help of BC and good partners. But basic big robots that can store a lot of items and then automatically we can that can also be incorporated into Tasklet actually. So we have companies with robots, and then all of these items that are inside the robots that would be handled by the robots, and then all of the items that cannot be picked up or handled by the robots, then that will turn into a Tasklet process. So we can combine with these kind of new functions and technology, and we have customers doing this. So please ask if you have a question on that. But I think also with AI, now there will come to happen a lot more the next 10 years than what previously was done in the last 10 years. That's my experience. But we can work, we have customers that work with RFID, um,
Mm.
which is sometimes customers think that they need RFID because they think it's easy just to go around with a like a device and just scan which is inside a warehouse. But that is also tricky sometimes, and a lot of errors can happen. So reach out if you want a description or if we want to explain to you why you shouldn't go for it and why if you actually should go for it. But other than that, I actually think that BC have a lot of normal warehouse logic. So these processes are set up, and when it's a warehouse, and if you're not using robots, then the employees on the floor needs to do all of this work. So
Mm.
of course there can be a lot of automatic processes with AI and like intelligent systems, but you also need to go and do the work as an employee. So I think the logic is there in BC, and I think it will actually stay like this for a long time. But I think the next 10 years will come to look very different, with RFID, more robots, more self-driving cars that are driving around in the warehouse. And we need to be ready for that as well in Tasklet, so we can provide that for the
Hmm.
customers. For example, right now we have around 40 devices that you will need to choose to use Tasklet. You cannot use it on a normal cell phone because we need to make sure that the scanning software is aligning with our software, so we give the customers a good product, and which
Hmm.
also makes you able to drop these maybe 10 times a day on the floor, which a normal cell phone cannot do, or a smartphone. But we're also looking into, maybe we are going to go for smartphones in the future, because this is also where yeah, a lot of smartphones are getting pushed out, so we also need to be ready to jump on that train as well. So we're also looking into that in Tesla right now. But I would still urge people to go with the standard devices. But it's very difficult to say, because the last 10 years something happened, but not too radical stuff happened. It was more like incremental, just new steps, slightly, slowly at a time. So I'm not sure actually. Maybe in
Hmm.
Nitish, if you have, where do you see it going?
Yeah, thank you first of all for this brief. I think you have mentioned it quite well. I think to add on to this, you think you did mention about the robotics. We also have customers who are using both robotic warehouse and obviously along with Fastly. I
Yeah,
see a lot of these adoption will eventually come. I still feel a lot of these companies tend to treat warehouse operations or automation of these warehouse operations as optional and not a must-have.
yeah,
Because and you know and they don't have any fault of that. It's probably because of they don't have that much knowledge, that much information in terms of what
yeah,
is available in the market. And I think it's
Yeah.
our job to make sure that they are aware of that. And also around, I think the integration with the shipping line and with the couriers is also, I feel that will eventually happen more often than not, because I see a lot of these gaps whenever we discuss about any new ERP implementation. Companies have a different ERP application, a different WMS solution, shipping agent or shipping line that doesn't talk to these applications. You have another application for your invoice automation. So I think it's eventually companies want things simpler and easier for you so that they can focus on their main business and grow revenue eventually. And I think solutions like Tasklet really helps. And I see a lot of these AI will eventually will come in, a bit early to comment. Maybe Mickey and the Tasklet team can probably add more thoughts on that. But the, we are obviously in the stage of AI and agents. I see a lot of these agents and AI will eventually get developed, probably on top of these technologies, which will eventually make the job of the warehouse manager or worker quite easier.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think going forward, I see this whole process is not as optional. It's like kind of a must-have for any
yeah,
business. I think Mickey has already mentioned, irrespective of the size of business, even if you're a small business with just one user, or probably you have got 100 users, just try the functionality. It's not a lengthy process. It's not going to cost you a fortune. Just try it, see the use case, see the possibilities, and eventually decide whether you want to continue or not. But more often than not, you will end up continuing, and keep using this technology which is there. So yeah.
With this, it just reminds me. It's just helps me to push me more towards making another episode with Mickey and Nitesh on myth busting on
yeah,
the ERP with the warehouse management, and we can do another episode on that for sure. Uh, but
Absolutely.
I also think, like, what I'm asking this question to both of you. What do you think that automation will ever fully replace the manual warehouse roles, or is it just more about maybe assisting people?
or
So
if
Mickey
I
can
am to
answer that.
go, I can try to go ahead. It's a tricky one, because
Yeah.
I've seen, we all know technology, right? So, oh, I don't know. it is actually something that I try to think of a lot, but I also get how do I say it, a little bit stupid of thinking of it because I really don't know. I think that this is right now helping manually or helping the people in the warehouse. But I also have seen technology skyrocket before, so maybe this will become an automatic process. Um, but then we also going to develop. You still need the programs, right? And you still need people to survey or
Mm.
to service these kind of robots. So maybe it's going in that direction, but that will take some time. And I don't think customers right now can wait for that because I don't think it will happen anytime soon. But maybe if robotics or automatic AI or something are going to do this in the future, then it will not be now, and then we'll try to accommodate it. But right now, it's a helping force because yeah, it's a heavy investment to go for a fully
Mm,
functional AI automatic robot system. So, and if you're not there, at least for the smaller customers, then go ahead with this, try out this system right now because this can help even the smallest ones. And then if you get like 1,000 devices, maybe you should try to incorporate some kind of robotic demands. Yeah, I don't
Absolutely.
know. Mm,
Yeah. My thoughts on this is, I think Vicky has already mentioned, is that every business go through, through a journey when they, start small and then they, these are trajectory that usually happens in few years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line. I've
yeah.
seen that, the robotics warehouse, you need a volume, you need that kind of process to basically enable the robotics to function fully into the warehouse. Maybe perhaps can ask to add more on that. And so, yeah, those are like large enterprises that would require the robotics and those kind of operations. But
Yeah.
if you're looking at SMB space, the automation will eventually help the business. It will help the people on the ground. I don't think they are going to get replaced because there's a technology which is probably they might be using it. And I think you mentioned about the myth. Again, that is something which probably we can probably discuss. That it's not something that they're if they'll adopt solution like let's say Business Central or Tasklet or any other IT
Mm,
solution, it's going to replace the people. No, it's going to enable the people, helping them achieve more through technology. And I think it's on partners like us to make sure that they are aware and are well trained on those kind of technology. Uh, yeah, some of the use cases, and obviously a bit early for me to comment as well. You do feel that there are some automations may replace some of those kind of resources, but I don't think that that number is quite small as compared to what we are seeing right now. Uh,
yeah.
but I think this shift will eventually happen. I think task team will probably be thinking in terms of how they can make sure that the automation eventually helps
yeah.
the business and
Yeah.
grow help the people on the ground rather than replacing them.
We are looking into it, and we are also looking into implement AI and chatbots internally so that we can help you as a partner quicker, which eventually helps the customer quicker. So that is where we have seen a lot of improvements inside our own organization in the past year,
Mm,
because then we are at least quicker to set up everything. It's easy to do. It's easy to help you as a partner, which yeah, eventually helps the customer.
Mm,
So yeah, but as long as BC has a good logic right now, we keep on doing what we currently do. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Before we officially wrap up, I want to hear from both of you. How was today's session for you? And what's your final word for our audience?
All right. Today's session was nice. It took a little bit of a time, but it was all very exciting. And thanks for having me here, at least to join this podcast kind of version. I've not done it like online like this before, but I think it turned out pretty good. And sorry for having a
Yeah.
little bit of a cold. And now we have tried to show everything what we can, but of course we don't have time to do a full demo or to go into depth with all of the stuff. But then people can always reach out. But the final word for me is that don't hesitate, go for it. Of course, you need to decide whether or not you would like this kind of system. If you don't want it, then wait some couple of years and then evaluate it once more. But we normally we don't disappoint any customers. So yeah, take the jump, take the leap, and try it out.
Love that.
Yeah.
And if someone
Yeah.
wants to see more or try Tasklet, where should they go? Just give us a small.
Should definitely go and contact you at Dynamic Square or go to our website because we work only with partners to install
Yeah,
Tasklet because we cannot implement Tasklet for all of the customers out there because they all look very different. So they need to go to a company like you guys and get the flow and the blueprint and make sure everything is aligned. And then, of course, sometimes it's not only the warehouse management, right? Maybe it's other ISVs like ourselves. Maybe it's an accounting system, or maybe it's an HR system, or something else. Maybe something for expenditures. So we know we own a little part of it, but we fill quite a huge gap in the physical side in the warehouse. So yeah, try it out.
great, superb. And Nitesh, what was your experience today? How was today for you? And what's your final word to our audience?
That's been a great experience, Ramita, and thank you for organizing this and for hosting me and Nikki. I think it was, I believe that
My
it's
pleasure.
going to be interesting, sort of session for the audience as well. Good to get the
Yeah,
insights from Nikki around Tasklet. Always helpful to, obviously, I've been doing a lot on these sessions, but it's always good to know what's happening in the space. And yeah, I think it's rightly mentioned on Mickey, if there's a business you probably would like to talk and discuss about their warehouse operations and how to want to automate that, they can always reach out to our website, which is www.dynamicsquare.co.uk. And always can follow us on LinkedIn and reach out to us there as well. We definitely will make sure that we discuss about their potential use case and help them with their start, the helping them achieve more creative economy. And I think thank you, Nikki, once again
Of
for your
course.
time. It was quite helpful, and thank you for all the insight that we have given to us and this is the audience. Really looking forward to catch up some other time where we
Yeah.
believe it's good and for the audience, and we'll go from there on.
Thank you
yeah,
for having me. Yeah.
brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, Mickey, Nitesh, thank you both for making Warehouse Talk actually so much fun today. It was really productive, and you both are like, oh, you both are like oceans of the knowledge. So,
Perfect.
kudos to you too. And it was lovely having you both today. Thank you so much for
Pleasure.
joining me in
Thanks a lot.
and
Thanks a lot.
helping our audience creating that awareness. And also, we did burst some myths. Don't worry about it. So, if you're ready to stop chasing paper and start running your warehouse like it's 2025. You know exactly who to call. So, thank you so much for joining us in and I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.